Tessa Dooms on Power 98.7, 6 to 9 a.m.
We have on the line with us Thobeka Magcai, the spokesperson for the Department of Employment and Labour. Thobeka, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Power Breakfast.
Thank you, Tessa. Good morning to you and good morning to all the listeners of the show.
So the Department of Labour and Employment, or Employment and Labour, you've said that you're going to Limpopo to start an initiative that will see about 13,000 jobs created or job opportunities created in Limpopo. There are contracts that are going to be handed out to service providers. Explain to us what those contracts are. They're in the 400 million range, who they'll be handed out to, and what are the opportunities that will be seen and realized at the end of that.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Thanks for having us on the show. So basically, we are in Limpopo right now. Today is the day that the Minister of Employment and Labour will hand over contracts worth 446 million rand to implementing partners of the Labour Activation Program in Limpopo. These partners are in various sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, manufacturing, services, hospitality, all kinds of services, and they cover the entire Limpopo province, so all the regions and all the municipalities will be covered in this. Young people that are targeted, so each company has a specific target of young people that they need to contract. And this will be part of training that will either be from 12 months to 3 years, and they have the responsibility to absorb the young people as well when they're done with their training program. So the number of people that we are targeting in Limpopo is 13,609. And also, Tessa, just to clarify for the listeners, the program itself was launched in the Western Cape in January. Yes, so it's not new, but we are crisscrossing the country, and each province is getting their own labor activation program to create jobs. So the Department of Employment and Labour, part of our mandate is employment. It was expanded from just labor to employment, which means that we have the responsibility of creating employment for the vulnerable and also the youth.
So, I've worked in the youth sector for a long time. And I remember the days where we were talking about kind of Harambe and the work that they were doing when the YES program was being ideated. And the big question was, what is the difference between creating jobs for young people and creating work or job opportunities? And you've used the wording of job opportunities. Are these going to be sustainable jobs? How do you ensure that that absorption that you're talking about actually happens and translates?
Yes, so part of our recruitment of the companies that are to participate in the Labour Activation Program is for them to submit their proposals. And in that proposal, they need to commit that they will provide employment opportunities. Now, the Department of Employment and Labour will then, we enter into a contract with them, we sign a memorandum of understanding, and we monitor that indeed the young people are physically there. Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, that they do receive the training and that they are eventually absorbed. So the program has worked very well in all the provinces, in fact, since initiation. We continue to monitor the program and ensure that young people really do get their opportunities.
And the markers of success here, you're talking about other provinces. You spoke about the Western Cape being the first one. Which other provinces has this been rolled out in, and how many young people thus far have received training or placements?
All right, so we started in the Western Cape. We then proceeded to the Northwest, the Eastern Cape. The Eastern Cape, we went on the 28th of February, and their contract was valued at 922 million rand, targeting 23,000 beneficiaries. The Western Cape was 651 million, targeting 17,000 beneficiaries. We also went to the Mpumalanga province. We are now in Limpopo. Very soon we'll be announcing the next province where we'll be. We are left with 4 provinces, actually. We're left with Gauteng, Northern Cape, Free State, and KZN.
So how does the scheme actually work in terms of the organizations or the companies? Are these companies that are already active? Are they organizations that are employment readiness programs? And are you paying these organizations to pay the young people? Is it cash in the hands of the young people? Is it their salaries and their stipends that you're paying? Or what's the deal? What's being paid for? And what is the contribution of the company or the organization that partners with you?
All right. So these companies are active companies that have been functioning, that are involved in training and skills development. So, for example, in Limpopo, I'll just mention a couple. We've got Edu House South Africa. Some of them also operate not just provincially, but they operate nationally as well. We've got Green Development Foundation, NPC. We've also got Cable Name Consulting Services. So they do range in terms of their capacity as well as their reach. So, as we've mentioned, it covers the hospitality, agriculture, public administration, civil and construction, education, water services, finance and business, all across the sector. And we also will be monitoring. So how it happens is that the young people will be recruited, and they've been on a recruitment drive. We've been publishing on our platforms, the Department of Labor platforms, the recruitment drive that's been happening. And the young people get placed, and we also, we support the companies as well. So how it works is that the funds, the company needs to submit to us documentation of, monthly reports before the stipends are released. Now, the money is released monthly, and the money then goes it's supposed to then go straight into the pockets of the young people.
All right. And that's a really good model. We have seen models where the bulk of the money that is set aside for youth development or youth employment goes into the pockets and the hands of the organizations or the companies who take, skim off the top, and then young people end up with pittance at the end of the day. So a really, really interesting initiative here. And we do hope that as it rolls out across the country, that this is only the first phase. Of course, these numbers are relatively high given the fact that we have such low levels of employment amongst young people. But of course, about 1 million young people enter into the potential out of education into the potential workforce. So the work ahead for your department, Thobeka, is great. But thank you so much for clarifying that and giving us a lay of what is happening within the department and, of course, in Limpopo today. That was the spokesperson for the Department of Employment and Labor, Thobeka Magcai, giving us a breakdown of the work that's being done to get young people working.